Good evening, everybody. It's Neil Constantino again, and today we'll be doing the presentation of the Flying Mother presentation. So the scenario we have today is you are a private pilot with a multi-engine land rating and have just bought a twin-engine airplane. You have asked for a checkout in the airplane. Next week, you are planning to take your family from the New England area to the Midwest to visit your mother-in-law. You have researched the required certificates and documents, minimum equipment list, normal operations, and pre-flight. In your video, you must demonstrate your proficiency in safety policies and procedures for this trip. In addition, you must demonstrate judgment and thinking skills. Be sure to review the checklist below to accomplish all required tasks. So the plane that I will be taking for this trip is the Piper Seminole. Piper Seminole is a great plane. It's very versatile. It's cheap and it gets the job done. Just a little bit about the Piper Seminole. Seminole is the max fuel that it can carry is 108 gallons usable. 1 gallon each side is not usable, so 2 gallons unusable. I can carry 4 people, including the pilot. Range for economy is 922 nautical miles. Useful load with max fuel is 563 pounds. Max takeoff weight is 3,800 pounds. The cruise for economy is 147 knots indicated. Gallons per hour in economy mode is 16.6 gallons per hour. And this aircraft is powered by 2 Textron Lycomings. Each engine gives out 180 brake horsepower at 2,700 RPM. So the flight plan I have created is we're going to depart Lawrence Hanscom Field, KBED. We're going to depart early in the morning because usually weather is great early in the morning and this flight will take long, so we'd want to get there before nighttime. Fuel en route to our fuel stop is Fort Wayne International. That's like midway. It's going to take us 89 gallons. The time is 5 hours, 5 minutes. From our fuel stop, we're going to refuel the plane full tanks to Wichita Dwight Eisenhower International. It's going to take 78 gallons. The time is going to take 4 hours and 25 minutes. Our total flight time will be 9 hours, 30 minutes. Total fuel we're going to use is 164.2 gallons. We're going to cruise at 8,000 feet. I'm planning this flight at for IFR because usually the northeastern states usually has some IMC and IFR is way better anyway. So we're going westbound. 8,000 feet is the proper altitude, and we're going to have 65% power to save some gas and money. Alright, so flight plan continued. I have the basic information for the airports that I intend to land at. At Lawrence Hanscom Field, we have the longest runway is 7,011 feet with an elevation of 132 feet MSL. Fort Wayne International, longest runway is 11,981 feet at 815 feet MSL elevation. And at Wichita Dwight Eisenhower, the longest runway is 10,301 feet, and the elevation is 1,333 feet MSL. For takeoff distances, so for takeoff, we're going to need 2,200 feet of runway, which is a lot of runway from at Wichita and at Lawrence Hanscom Field, more than enough. Landing distances for Fort Wayne International, we're going to need 1,200 feet of runway, and at Wichita, we're going to need 1,350 feet of runway. All right, checklists. It's important. It's one of the most important things that we learn as a private pilot. So one of the checklists I like to do before every flight is the PAVE checklist. P stands for pilot, A stands for aircraft, V stands for environment, and E is external pressures. So pilot, the required documents. I have my medical certificate. It is valid. I have a first class. I have my government issued ID, my driver's license, it's valid, and my pilot certificate, which I am commercial and instrument rated. Aircraft required documents, airworthiness certificate, we got that. Registration is not expired. The operating handbook is inside the plane, and I've done the weight and balance. I've calculated it. It is within limits to the weights that I will be taking along this flight. The inspections for the aircraft, airworthiness directives, that's good. VOR, it's been inspected because we're going IFR. I have them inspected it. The 100-hour and annual, they're good. They've been completed. The altimeter has been checked. The transponder and the LT are all up to date. The environment, the weather. So I'll talk about that in a bit in the remaining slides that we have. And as far as I know, no external pressures. So another checklist, the I'm Safe checklist, that goes under the pilot in the PAVE checklist. Illnesses, as of right now, I have no illnesses. Medication, I'm not taking any. Stress, I don't have any. Alcohol, I haven't been drinking for the past week or so, so that's good. Fatigue is good. Yeah, I've been getting enough sleep. Motion, none that I can think of. And pre-flight checklist, an acronym that we've used and I've learned in the private pilot training is NUCRAF. So N's are for the N is for NOTAMs. I've checked NOTAMs at every airport that I'm gonna be going to or land to, and the only NOTAM I got was for Todd Dwight Eisenhower, and that NOTAM is that only runway 1 right / 19 left is closed from June 21st, 1630 Zulu to July 26, 0359 Zulu. So it is active. So we won't be landing on those runways. The weather, I'll talk about that in a bit again. No ATC delays, no ATC delays. Runway lengths, I already talked about that. Alternates, we got alternates. Fuel required, we are going to have enough fuel to get to our fuel stop, and since we're going to be refueling at our midpoint, we'll also have enough fuel to get to our destination. Takeoff and landing distances, I already got that in the previous slides. So some risks that I got to keep in mind. When I was looking at the flight plan, there's an active convective SIGMET just north of John Murtha, as you can see with the red 8 above KIJST. There are some thunderstorms active over there. The SIGMET is indirect from KBED to KFWA. So what I did was I rerouted the flight to go south of that. As you can see, it went south, and we'll be at least 20 nautical miles away from that boundary of that convective SIGMET. If I need to deviate more south of it, if I feel like I need to, I'll just contact ATC, let them know. No icing conditions, so that's great. This is a multi-engine, so it's not that serious, but if an engine goes out, I'll follow the proper checklist. I'll use the DECIDE model, and if need be, I'll land at a nearby airport if I can't restart the engine. So takeaway of this is, as pilot command, I'm responsible, or if you're a pilot command, you are responsible for the safety of the plane and passengers. The PIC has a final authority of the operation of the plane. And if I have any doubt that this flight will compromise safety of the passengers or the plane, I am going to cancel the flight prior, or if I am mid-flight, I'll cancel the flight and land at a nearby airport. So that's about it.